Hey everybody, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Scott and I live in the outskirts of Austin, Texas. I am not a doom and gloom, end of the world, apocalyptic prepper, so this video is going to be a little different, but it's something I am genuinely concerned about and not a lot of people are talking about. This is not conspiracy theory. I'm going to list fact of some things that are about to happen that's going to mostly affect Texas, but potentially affect the rest of the United States and potentially other countries. So the FIFA World Cup is about to begin. It starts June 11th and runs through July 16th. Games are being held in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. That is a fact that has been published for months now. I'm specifically talking about Texas because I live here and because Texas is uniquely positioned that we have two cities that are hosting games. We have the majority of games in the entire world, and also our proximity to Mexico where there's other games being played. That is a fact. That is not up for debate. The rest of this video is going to be my opinions and my fears and concerns. So what? What does that mean? So we're having a soccer tournament. Well, Americans are not as familiar with the popularity of soccer that the rest of the world has. So if you're watching this from the United States, you might be kind of caught off guard and kind of shrug and say, so what? You have to understand the scope of the popularity and the players that are coming. Try to imagine if your city was hosting the Super Bowl every day for 2 months. Now multiply that by 10. Think of the number of people coming into your city and the drain on the resources. The most popular player in the world, more than the Kardashians, thank you very much. And this will probably be his last World Cup. So we've got a huge popularity of players and people coming to spend a bunch of money to see their favorite people playing. So the scale of this is really something that the United States has just never kind of wrapped their arms around before. Think of the Olympics happening in your city for 2 months times 10. So how this affects Texas, as I mentioned earlier, we have two host cities. So Houston and Arlington, in between Fort Worth and Dallas, for you not from Texas, are hosting matches. So two cities hosting matches. It's like 6 or 7 games each. So we have the most amount of games in one city. And also we have a close proximity to Mexico. So people who are going to Mexico for games could be traveling back and forth to Houston or Arlington to watch their favorite players. Austin, where I live, is hosting another country. So while there's no matches here, there will be an increased presence from people from outside the country. The other X factor is there are games being scheduled in Miami, but we're starting to get into hurricane season. So if Miami gets hit by a hurricane, those games are going to be relocated likely to Houston. So we have the most amount of matches in 2 different cities, but Austin will likely be affected and San Antonio will likely be affected due to its proximity to the border, to international airports, and kind of its cultural and tourism aspect. So we've got kind of 4 cities that 2 cities that will definitely be affected and 2 more cities that likely will be affected. So what am I afraid of? Number one, biggest thing is cell phone towers. I firmly expect for cell phone towers in Arlington and Houston to go offline. Why is that? The influx of people all hitting the cell towers all at once. When we have South by Southwest or ACL here in Austin, cell phone companies have to bring in portable towers, and that's just for a couple of days. This is going to be for a couple of weeks. So I am strongly expecting cell phone towers to go down, at least in Arlington and Houston, if not in other cities in Texas. Number two, internet access, same thing, strained resources. So I expect internet connectivity to be very slow and very unreliable. Number three, traffic. Traffic is going to be ridiculous. If you live in Houston, traffic on the 610 is already bad. And if you live in Austin, you know traffic on 35 and Mopac is already bad. And if you live in Dallas-Fort Worth, traffic is bad everywhere. So expect increased traffic in those 4 cities and try to plan accordingly. Something else I'm concerned about is grid failure. Why is that? Again, we're getting into summertime, so things are going to start to get hot here in Texas, and you're going to have a couple of million people from countries that have never dealt with 100-degree Fahrenheit Texas summers before, going to be in their hotels, cranking the AC up all at the same time. I've been in Texas for many years, and we were razor thin for grid collapse a few years ago, and also the grid collapse during snowpocalypse 5 years ago. So imagine another 5 to 10 to 15 million people in Texas all blasting their ACs because they're from Norway or other European countries where they don't know what 100 Fahrenheit really feels like. It's going to be like a blast furnace to them. On top of first responders, traffic cops, traffic accidents, dealing with this influx of people who don't know our traffic laws, going to be driving rental cars and stuff like that and getting into accidents. There's going to be lots of drinking and drugs going on because that's just kind of the culture in a lot of areas. So I'm expecting for first responders, law enforcement to be totally overwhelmed by this, this bunch of people coming in. Food and gas shortages. Gas is a complicated thing right now to begin with, but again, let's drop another 5 to 10 million people into the state, and I am expecting gas shortages and potentially food shortages as well. And finally, terrorism. It's a real complicated world out there these days, and you're going to have fans and people from countries that don't necessarily like each other, and a lot of places that don't like the United States. Visa and passport restrictions are kind of all over the place these days, but I can't imagine everyone who's going to be coming to the US is going to like each other or like us. On that note, on the 4th of July game this year is on a Saturday, and it is scheduled to be in Houston. The president will likely be there, and depending upon how the bracket falls, the US could play one of 3 countries that really don't like us. So I am fully expecting something stupid to happen at the 4th of July game in Houston. It's just too juicy of a target. So what do I recommend that you do, and what have I been doing? I've known about this for a while. I've just now been able to kind of release this information. So what have I been working on the last few weeks to kind of get ready for this? So number one is alternate forms of communication other than your traditional cell phone, because I totally expect for cell phone towers to be overloaded. So I've got a couple of suggestions for you. Number one is POC link, these push to talk over cellular. I've made multiple videos on them. I do have some affiliate links and some discount codes. It is true that these still work on cell phone towers. That is true. The reason why these are cool is because they work on any band, on any carrier, on basically any frequency that it can find. So if the cell phone tower completely collapses or gets bombed, this will do you no good. But if the network is just really crowded, you'll stand a reasonable chance of these working. We had the Verizon cell phone tower outage a couple of months ago, where my phone and my wife's phone were down for 3 days, and these still worked. So not bulletproof, but a easy to use, fairly inexpensive backup option, and these are definitely part of my emergency communications plan. Everyone will talk about ham radio. I am a ham radio operator. I promise you that your Baofeng is not going to talk all around the world. I made a very famous video called Ham Radio is Not for Preppers. I'll link it down below. Having said that, I am carrying my ham radio. I have no illusion of being able to reach my wife, who is also a ham, because I expect that the repeater network is going to be overloaded. But for information gathering, if something stupid happens, this would be a resource for you. Baofengs are super cheap. Make sure you program it to your local repeaters now before something happens. Set your expectations reasonably. All the other YouTubers are saying you can talk around the world. That's not quite a lie, but it's not the whole truth. Check out my video called Ham Radio is Not for Preppers, and hopefully it'll give you some more information. But it is part of my communications backup plan. Starlink as backup internet access. I have a Starlink. I put it on to standby mode. Starlink does still use ground towers in certain areas, but if the internet or cell phone service goes down, I suspect that Starlink will at least have some service, so I will be able to get some information out there. Regarding increased traffic, half the battle is just awareness. Check out your city's traffic plan. And if you live near one of the stadiums, I think it's NRG Stadium in Houston, you live or work downtown, make alternate plans or talk to your boss about telework for basically June and July, because I expect traffic to be utterly insane near the stadiums. Don't travel to Arlington or Houston. I have family in Houston and in Conroe, and you know, we go to visit them for holidays, and I'm trying to get them to move that to a different location so we can stay away from all of that right now. Grid failure, you should be thinking about battery or generator backup systems. Again, we're getting into summer, we're getting into hurricane season. I have lots of videos on my channel about Wattcycle batteries. We've got the new big boy, the 16 kilowatt hour system, if it comes into stock in time. If not, the 8 kW 24 volt or any of the other options are really fantastic. So check out the other links on my channel for building a backup power system that would fit your needs. Food and gas, so stockpiling food, hit that Costco or HEB run if you're in Texas, and load up food and medicine shortages if you're in the Texas area. And also regarding gas, I do have a gas can. I always keep my gas tanks half full, and I will keep my backup gas can full as we get a little bit closer. I drive a Honda Fit, gets 35 miles to the gallon, so 5 gallons will get me pretty far. So I'm gonna keep all those things topped up as routinely as I can. All it's gonna take is one hurricane or one terrorist attack on a refinery in Houston, and then we're gonna be in really big trouble. Terrorism. I made a video about a kit for spicy times with gas masks and some of these other things. Stop the bleed, first aid, tourniquets, things like that. If you're gonna go to a game, I would have my head on a swivel. If you're one of the few people who follow me on Instagram, I am a metalhead, and I've been going to concerts lately, and I've been carrying a little miniature Stop the Bleed kit in my pocket because there was a shooting at a concert in Houston a couple of months ago. The video on the internet is pretty scary. Skinny Medic and Prep Medic have both covered it. So when I go out in public, I've got some Z-fold or other compression gauze in my pocket. I won't carry a tourniquet with me, but I've got a backup something and a flashlight in my pants pocket just in case something happens. The 2 concerts I've been to in the last few weeks would have been shooting galleries if somebody would have walked in. The music was so loud, you wouldn't have heard the gunfire until it was too late. And then Deadlands and Vanna a couple nights ago, there was only very few entrances. It was very packed, crowded in there. So it would have been a really dangerous situation if something would have happened. So I hope that brings you all up to speed. Like I said, this is not a conspiracy. The World Cup is actually happening. Whether any of these other events that I'm predicting will happen, don't know, but you've got about 2 weeks to start gearing up your preps. If you're in Dallas or Houston, I would strongly recommend that you make some preparations now to get ready for what's about to come. Thanks, everybody. Drop a comment down below. And if you're a FIFA fan worldwide, tell me what country you're rooting for. Thanks, everybody. Catch you on the next one.